16. Water, a precious resource. Jal hai to kal hai. If you have water, you can think of the future. You are perhaps aware that 22 March is celebrated as the World Water Day. A school celebrated Water Day and invited posters from the children of your age group. Some of the posters presented on that day are shown in figure. Figure College of Posters. What is the message you get from these posters? Write your observations in your notebook and discuss them in the class. Have you ever felt a shortage of water at home or at school? Your parents or teachers must very often be advising you not to waste water. No wonder we celebrate Water Day every year to attract the attention of everybody towards the importance of conserving water. The amount of water recommended by the United Nations for drinking, washing, cooking, and maintaining proper hygiene is a minimum of 50 liters per person per day. This amount is about 2.5 buckets of water per person per day. Is your family getting at least this much of water? If yes, you should consider yourself fortunate because millions of people in our country do not get enough water. What about your friends and their families? Share your experience with them. In some places, there is an acute shortage of water, taps running dry, long queues for water, figure. Fights, marches, and protests for demand of water have become a common sight, especially during summers. Some of the newspaper clippings shown in figure clearly indicate this message. Is it not true that we face acute shortage of water? Figure long queue for water. Activity 16.1. Do this. Collect clippings from newspapers and magazines on the news items, articles and pictures related to water shortage. Paste them in your scrapbook and share it with your friends. List some problems faced by the people and discuss them in the class. Water shortage has become a matter of concern throughout the world. It is estimated that in a few years from now, figure Earth appears blue from space. Figure newspaper clippings. Year 2003 was observed as the International Year of Freshwater to make people aware of this dwindling natural resource. More than one-third of the people in the world could face water scarcity. Before we discuss why water is getting scarce, we must know how much water is available for use on our planet. 16.1. How much water is available? Look at the picture of the Earth taken from space. Why does it appear blue? Surely you can guess. You are aware that about 71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water. Almost all the water on the Earth is contained in the seas and oceans, rivers, lakes, ice caps, as groundwater, and in the atmosphere. However, most of this water is not fit for human consumption directly. The water that is fit for use is fresh water. Perform the following activity to estimate roughly the relative amount of water available in some of these sources. Activity 16.2. Most of us assume water to be a limitless resource. From this activity, can you? Steps, figure, remark. Take a medium-sized bucket and fill it up with water. It contains about 20 liters of water. Assume that this water represents all the water present on the earth. Take a teaspoon of about 5 ml capacity and transfer 100 spoon of water from the bucket to a small container like a bath mug. This represents total freshwater on the earth. From the bath mug, transfer 30 spoon of water to a glass tumbler. This gives a measure of usable water present as groundwater. Finally, take out a quarter, 1/4 spoonful of water from the mug. It represents all the water present in all the lakes and rivers of the world. The water left in the bucket represents the saline water present in the seas, oceans, and partly as groundwater. This water is not fit for human use. The water left in the bath mug represents the water which is present in the frozen form in glaciers, ice caps, and permanent snow, again not available readily. Bojo wondered about the alarmingly small quantity of water available for our use. Paheli quickly calculated and found that this amount is roughly 0.006% of all water found on the earth. Appreciate the actual amount of water available for human use. Does the finding worry you? Discuss this in your class. 16.2 Forms of water. Are you afraid that continuous use will someday exhaust all the water available for use? You know that water on the earth has been maintained for millions of years by various processes which make the water cycle. You have studied the water cycle in class 6. Write in your own words what you know about the water cycle. You know that when water circulates through the water cycle, it can be found in all the three forms, that is solid, liquid and gas, at any given time somewhere on the earth. The solid form, snow and ice, is present as ice caps at the poles of the earth, snow-covered mountains and glaciers. Liquid water is present in oceans, lakes, rivers and even underground. The gaseous form is the water vapor present in the air around us. The continuous cycling of water among its three forms keeps the total amount of water on the earth constant even when the whole world is using it. Does it give you any relief? Can you recall the process involved in water cycle? The following activity will help you. Activity 16.3 Figure shows the process involved in the water cycle. They are labeled by numbers. Match these numbers with the process given in the jumbled form. Most towns and cities have water supply system maintained by the civic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Figure water cycle. 1. Radgon Ravet. 2. Aturiar. 3. Akestunit. 4. Daclos. 5. Tespranior. 6. 8. Finlorent. 7. Anticipidatipio. Do this and comment this. Bodies. The water is drawn from nearby lakes, rivers, ponds or wells. The water is supplied through a network of pipes. Many villages do not have such a water supply system. There, people fetch water directly from the sources. Often people and even children have to walk several kilometers to fetch water. Figure, the children suffer a lot. They cannot attend school regularly since they spend hours in fetching water. Women have to perform a number of household chores. If they have also to spend time to fetch water, it adds to their burden. A large number of people draw water from wells, tube wells or hand pumps. From where do these sources get water? 16.3 Groundwater as an important source of water. If we dig a hole in the ground near a water body, we may find that the soil is moist. The moisture in the soil indicates the presence of water underground. If we dig deeper and deeper, we would reach a level where all the space between particles of soil and gaps between rocks are filled with water. Figure. The upper level of this layer is called the water table. The water table varies from figure woman fetching water place to place, and it may even change at a given place. The water table may be at a depth of less than a meter or maybe several meters below the ground. The water found below the water table is called groundwater. What is the source of the groundwater? The rainwater and water from the other sources such as rivers and ponds seeps through the soil and fills the empty spaces and cracks deep below the ground. The process of seeping of water into the ground is called infiltration. The groundwater thus gets recharged by this process at places. The groundwater is stored between layers of hard rock below the water table. This is known as an aquifer. Water in the aquifers can be usually pumped out with the help of tube wells or hand pumps. Have you ever been to a site where construction work is going on? From hand pump, water table, recharge, stream or lake, aquifer, groundwater. Figure groundwater and water table. Where do the workers get water for construction? Maybe you have seen boring being done at such sites to reach the water table. Inquire from the people working there how deep they have to dig. Can we keep on drawing water from under the ground? How will it affect the water table? 16.4 Depletion of water table. Water drawn from under the ground gets restored by seepage of rainwater. The water table does not get affected as long as we draw as much water as is replenished by natural processes. However, water table may go down if the water is not sufficiently replenished. This may happen due to many reasons: increase in population, industrial, and agricultural activities are some common factors affecting water table. Scanty rainfall is another factor that may deplete the water table. Yet another factor affecting water table could be deforestation and decrease in the effective area for seepage of water. Increasing population. Increasing populations creates demand for construction of houses, shops, offices, roads and pavements. This decreases the open areas like parks and playgrounds. This in turn decreases the seepage of rainwater into the ground. What could be the consequence? Recall that a pakka floor does not allow water to seep in easily, while in a grass lawn, water seeps through in no time. Moreover, a huge amount of water is required for construction work. Often, groundwater is used for this purpose. So, on the one hand, we are consuming more groundwater, and on the other, we are allowing lesser water to seep into the ground. This results in depletion of water table. In fact, the water table in some parts of many cities has gone down to alarmingly low levels. Increasing industries. Water is used by all the industries. Almost everything that we use needs water somewhere in its production process. The number of industries is increasing continuously. Water used by most of the industries is drawn from the ground. Activity 16.4. Name some industries familiar to you. Make a list of the products obtained from this and used in our daily life. Discuss with your teacher and parents how the growing industrial activity is responsible for the depletion of water table. Agricultural activities. A majority of farmers in India depend upon rains for irrigating their crops. Irrigation systems such as canals are there only in a few places. Even these systems may suffer from lack of water due to erratic rainfall. Therefore, farmers have to use groundwater for irrigation. Population pressure on agriculture forces increasing use of groundwater. Day by day, this result is depletion of water table. 16.5 Distribution of water. The distribution of water over the globe is quite uneven due to a number of factors. Some places have good amount of rain and are water rich. On the other hand, there are deserts which have scanty rainfall. India is a vast country and the rainfall is not the same everywhere. Some regions have excessive rains while some others have very little rainfall. Excessive rains cause floods, whereas the absence of rains result in droughts. Therefore, some regions in our country may have floods while others may suffer from droughts at the same time. Activity 16.5. Given here is the rainfall map of India figure. It gives the average annual rainfall in different regions of our country. Locate on the map the place you live in. Are you blessed with sufficient rainfall? Is there sufficient water available in your area throughout the year? It may be possible that we are living in an area where there is sufficient rainfall yet there is shortage of water. Can we attribute this to mismanagement of water resources? (16.6) Water management. You have read in class 6 that in many places a regular supply of water is. India annual rainfall. Pakistan, China, Tibet, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh. Tropic of Cancer, India. Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, Myanmar. Lakshadweep, India. Indian Ocean, Sri Lanka. Andaman and Nicobar Island, India. Rainfall in centimeter. Above 400, 200 to 400, 100 to 200, 60 to 100, 40 to 60, 20 to 40, 0 to 20. Figure rain map of India. One, Government of India, copyright 2007. 2. Based upon Survey of India map with the permission of the Surveyor General of India. 3. The territorial waters of India extend into the sea to a distance of 12 nautical miles measured from the appropriate baseline. 4. The external boundaries and coastlines of India agree with the record or master copy certified by Survey of India. Provided by a well-planned pipe system. When the civic authorities supply water through pipes, not all of it may reach the destination. You might have seen water supply pipes leaking and a lot of water gushing out of the pipes. It is the responsibility of the civic authorities to prevent such wastage of precious water. Mismanagement or wastage may take place at the level of individual also. All of us, knowingly or unknowingly, waste water while brushing teeth, shaving, bathing, washing and during many other activities. Leaking taps is another source of huge water wastage. We waste water as though we do not need water the next time. We have seen that most of the water that we get as rainfall just flows away. This is a waste of precious natural resource. The rainwater can be used to recharge the groundwater. This is referred to as water harvesting or rainwater harvesting, about which you have learnt in class 6. Find out if the buildings in your neighborhood have water harvesting system installed. We have at many places in India an age-old practice of water storage and water recharge like the Bowries. Bowry was the traditional way of collecting water. With time, the Bowries fell into disuse and garbage started filling in these reservoirs. However, because of the acute water shortage, people in these areas have had to rethink. The Boweries are being revived. Today, the situation is that in spite of scanty rain, these places are managing their water needs well. A farmer using water in the field can also use water economically. Maybe you have heard of drip irrigation figure. Drip irrigation is a technique of water plants by making use of narrow tubing which deliver water directly at the base of the plant. A case study. Bhojpur in the Kutch area of Gujarat has a very erratic rainfall. The only source of fresh water lies underground because rivers in this area do not have water throughout the year. Over the years, demand for water has grown. The withdrawal of groundwater has far exceeded recharge. As a result, the water table has gone down alarmingly. In 1989, the villagers, along with a non-governmental organization, decided to harvest rainwater. 18 check dams were built on the Rukmavati River and its many tributaries. The water so collected increased percolation through the soil and recharged the aquifers. According to farmers, the wells have water now, and the water that flowed into the sea and was wasted has become available for irrigation. Figure drip irrigation in a field. 16.7 What role you can play. Have you ever shown concern if you saw a tap leaking in your house, school, or any other place? Leaking taps waste a lot of water. You must make efforts to stop this leakage. There are a number of ways you can adopt to minimize the wastage of water. Let us begin. We have given a few examples. Add on. What are wise habits? 1. Turn off taps while brushing. 2. Mop the floor instead of washing. 16.8 Effect of water scarcity on plants. You must have seen potted plants wilting and ultimately drying up if they did not get water even for a few days. You have already learned in chapter 1 that plants need water to get nutrients from the soil to prepare their food. Just imagine the consequences if water is not available to plants. The green character of the planet shall be lost. This may mean the end of all life. For a world without plants shall mean no food, no oxygen, not enough rain, and innumerable other problems. A successful initiative. Rajasthan is a hot and dry place. The challenge of natural scarcity of water was met by a successful experiment. A band of social workers has transformed a dry area in the Alwar district into a green place. They have revived 5 dried up rivers: Arveri, Ruparel, Sarsa, Bagani, and Jahajwali by constructing water harvesting structures. हमारा जल हमारा जीवन. Keywords: aquifer, depletion, drip irrigation, groundwater, infiltration, recharge, water harvesting, water table. What you have learned. Water is essential for all living beings. There can be no life without it. Water exists in three forms: solid, liquid, and vapor. Though water is maintained by the water cycle, yet there is an acute scarcity of water in many parts of the globe. There is an uneven distribution of water. Much of it has resulted from human activities. Rapid growth of industries, increasing population, growing irrigation requirements, and mismanagement are some of the cause for water shortage. We need to be worried about the wastage during the supply of water through pipes, the leaking taps in buildings and other places. Unnecessary use of water and overdrawing from groundwater should be avoided. Recharge of water to the ground should be increased. The need of the hour is that every individual uses water economically. Plants wilt and ultimately dry up if they are not watered for a few days. Exercises. Do this and comment this. Extended learning activities and projects. 1. Role play. 2. Groundwater pumped out. 3. Catching rainwater traditional methods. 4. Conservation of water. 5. Create a logo. Do this and comment this. Did you know the importance of water management has been highlighted by a watershed management project near the village of Kothapalli? The project has yielded dramatic results. Groundwater levels have risen, green cover has increased, and productivity and incomes in the semi-arid regions have dramatically improved.